Question number 3, do you regret becoming an entrepreneur? So I think that this is an interesting question. So to give context, myself ran an agency, was my own boss, and I love that. And I also love this, working within this team. I don't even consider myself an entrepreneur in the traditional context. I don't like risk. I'm very risk adverse. I like stability. I like guarantees. I like all of those things. But I also realize that I can't go and create what I want without taking on risk, without taking on those certain things. So personally, I don't regret having entrepreneurial tendencies. I think that if you're an entrepreneur, you don't know of any other way to operate. Like you look at John's never received a paycheck from someone or from anyone that he didn't generate himself. So when you're wired like that, it's like going against your nature as a human being. Like it would be like coming to Tucker and saying that you can't do improv anymore. Like if someone came to you and said, Tucker, do you wish you didn't do improv? Like it's not even something you think about.
Yeah, I think it's just a way that you operate as a human being. I know that I've worked at several internships and with several programs that have been what essentially amounts to a 9-to-5 job, and was bored out of my mind even when I was doing some creative stuff. With this, it feels like I'm a part of building something. And that's just what I want to do. Now, whether or not that's something you want to do, I think that's a question you have to decide for yourself before you get into this field, or maybe evaluate a couple of years into it. Obviously, I'm only 22 years old, so there's not much time. There's not been much time for regret, but I really don't think that I would, just because I know who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and taste it. If you're 22, you can go like with Cue Bowl. You could move to New York, run Cue Bowl for 4 years, it fail, and you're still going to be better for it from the knowledge you've gained. And you're 26.
Yeah,
you're a baby. I am 27 years old, and I am a child in business. Like, understanding that if you're playing the game of business, you're playing for life. Like, you can you don't ever have to stop if you're a good business person.
Well, I mean, how many times do you hear about somebody having a midlife crisis and starting a business at 40? If you're at 26, 27, 30, 35, you're still on the lower end of that bracket.
Yeah, I mean, like we glorify the outliers. Like we glorify Zuck starting a business and running Facebook when he was 19. We glorify all of these younger entrepreneurs. Guys, most businesses are not started by people in their 20s. Most successful businesses are not started by people in their 30s. They're started by older people.
And they don't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can be 60 watching this right now, and you're in Bentonville at Walmart, and you're an analyst for something, and you're 50 years old. Like you're literally at like the midway point of your life. Like you will live another 50 years. Like you're good. Like you have time. And so I think that if you're worried about regretting it, put your head down for 2 years, work, and then realize that even if you do regret it, it was 2 years out of 100. It's 2% of your life. Like it's okay to regret 2% of your life.
And without a doubt, you will have taken some positive away, whether it's in the form of knowledge or connections that I'm sure will even out that regret.
Perfect.